Friends, my name is Erin, and I wanted to offer a little flow to work with the energy of the chakras. So this flow, we are going to be standing for some of it. We're going to be seating. I'm going to have to kick my dog out of the chair there. But I invite you to feel some of the different energies. Each of our major chakras, which run up and down along the spine, have different elements associated with them. So at the base chakra or the root chakra, we are talking about the element of earth. And we're going to have a lot of grounding, a lot of stillness, a lot of strengthening and connecting with the lower body. When we get into the second chakra, which is kind of underneath at the navel, this is all about water. This is all about flowing, so it'll feel a lot different. We're going to sit when we come to the fire element or third chakra. And this is actually about learning to hold your heat. If you've ever been angry before, there's a charge with that. And usually it's uncomfortable and we throw it out and then we actually disempower ourselves. But when we can learn to get big and hold this charge, that anger is the energy of transformation and change. So we'll be building a little heat with this one. And then coming into the heart, this is about connection. This is about the element of air. So it'll be a little lighter, but also flowy, like the second chakra is. So just see if you can feel the different energies and notice which energy feels balancing for you in your life, in your system, in whatever's going on with you. And that's the real purpose of knowing, I'm too airy right now. I might need some earth, some grounding, or I'm too fiery right now. I might need some water and to move things around. So allow yourself to feel that. And I'll also be talking about the psychological or emotional elements that are being balanced as we go. Well, I'll tell you now. First chakra, which was earth, this is all about fear versus stability and safety. Second chakra is all about freedom of expression, following your gut instincts versus feeling guilt and shame or that real deep, I can't trust myself, right? Third chakra is, we talked about anger, but this is also power, and this is about boundaries, really recognizing this is me, this is what I'm a yes for, and that is other, and that is what I'm a no for, or that I don't have power over. But anything me, I have power over. And the heart is all about connection, and we'll play with both the elements of giving and receiving in this. So, without further ado, I invite you to stand rooted, both feet on the ground and hips a little wider than your feet, if you can pull that off. No, we're going to step the feet a little wider than the hips here and spread your toes out, spread your feet out, get that strongest contact with the earth, and then just allow yourself to bounce a little bit. And we're going to move and you can shake because we want to kind of stir up any of that, I don't know, we want to stir. Typically, first chakra stuff, we're going straight to grounding and stillness, but sometimes we have some energy to move. So that's what I invite you to do here. And anything you're feeling, you can give it voice, you can shake it out, you can be frustrated, you can be, anxious, but just let yourself kind of move anything in your body. Keep your breath going. I know this is kind of a vigorous way to start, but you can have a gentle vigor, or you can have a furious, whatever's going on with you. So take care of yourself. We're going to just go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just bring it to a stillness and take a moment to feel into your body. You might feel some buzzy, some movement. Allow yourself to breathe into that. And going to move right into a Qigong practice. So we're still having some movement here. We haven't quite gotten to the stillness that we associate with earth and grounding and first chakra stuff. But feel your feet into the earth. Let your knees bend a little bit. And as you breathe in, scoop your hands and draw earth energy. You can imagine drawing earth energy up towards your heart. And as you exhale, press your palms down, let those knees bend a little bit. And imagine your energy reaching deep down into the earth, growing roots. So you're breathing in, drawing energy up, breathing out, rooting down through the soles of your feet. And as you do this, really connecting, you can go at the flow of your breath with your movements, but really start to feel a connection to and the strength within your legs. As you move here, I invite you to bring your attention to what's called the dantian, the place about 2 inches beneath the belly button, and set back into the center of your pelvis. And this center is the center of our balance, the center of gravitational pull, if you will. And it's really used a lot in martial arts. You can kind of shove somebody when they're not focused here and they'll be like, whoa. But if you shove them and they are holding their attention there, they won't go anywhere. This is really where we get rooted and strong. So as you move, really connecting with where is that place that I am completely centered in my balance, that I'm not out of balance, and I'm right in my center. And then what you can do, if you're feeling strong and stable and connected to that center, you can start to transfer your weight from one side to the other. So you can breathe in through center, breathe out, shift this point over one side, breathe in through center, breathe out, shift over to the other side, breathe in through center, breathe out, but really feel what it's like to move from your hips. Most of the time we move from our heads. And then the rest of our body's playing catch up, trying to bring us back into balance. But what is it like to actually move from your center? And if you want to play further with this, as you come over, you can play with lifting a little bit and placing down. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. If you want to start to play with breathing in and actually moving, breathe out, and then breathe in, and then breathe out. You can kind of take up some space, breathe in, and breathe out. Just notice, what is it like to move my feet, my placement, when I am completely moving from my center. So either side to side with a lift. We're playing with stepping around your space. Feeling that connection to the earth. Feeling that connection to your center. And wherever you are, you can start to bring yourself back to center. Breathing in and breathing out. Nice job. And what we'll do now is bring your feet together, and we're going to go straight into balancing, because balancing also helps us to root and ground, but it's also a challenge. And if you're ever having a super chaotic day, balancing will usually be harder than when you're feeling stable, but it's a great practice. And we want to accept every wobble as like an opportunity to deepen our balance, not as us doing something wrong here. So you might turn your toes, your knee out, your heel in. You might keep your toes resting on the earth and just have your heel rest on the inside of your ankle, or you can slide it up, or you can slide it up high. You can bring your hands to center or have them on your hips or reach them out to the sides or even overhead. So allow yourself to find what works best for you. Feeling the strength, the stability, and imagining those roots reaching deep down into the earth from that standing leg. Allow your gaze to rest on something that's very steady, and allow your breath to move freely here. Settling your nervous system, even as we've taken some stability away. You know, so this is where, I don't have stability. I feel nervous, right? But how can we find stability even in unstable situations? Everything we do with our body becomes a metaphor for lessons that we're able to do in other areas of our life. If you need a break at any time, feel free to take a break. We'll be here for one more inhale. And exhale, really rooting down. You can bring that foot down if you'd like to shake it out a little bit. If you'd like to rock your feet, find that connection. Again, you're still holding your awareness in that center of the pelvis. And you can take it to the second side, turning the knee out, sliding the heel up your leg to whatever degree. Root down. Now, sometimes we can go in and we don't hold ourselves. So if you feel, my hip's out and I'm over, this isn't holding your center of gravity. This is actually doing a balance thing. But if we press into the earth, lift up through the core, hold that center at the dantian, you can see my hip comes naturally underneath my shoulder, and I have more stability here by pressing down and holding up, not letting my joints and my hip kind of take the balance. So finding that press down, lift up, deep breaths. Anything you want to do with your arms is welcome. And a lot of times I'll play with movement in balancing poses, but we're working with first chakra. So first chakra, again, is really about stillness. It's about earth and grounding and rooting, strengthening that connection to the earth, that connection to all that is stable. We'll take another deep breath in and long breath out. Bring that foot down. And with your 2 feet together, slide either foot back. Your toes can turn out. You'll see I have a gentle bend in that front knee, but I'm not bending past my ankle. It's just really gentle. And we're just gonna press both feet strong into the earth here. Super strong, pressing down, lifting up. And if you want, you can float your arms high. Notice what it feels like to really feel a connection from your feet to from your feet and your toes to your fingertips. Another deep breath in, but then exhale, bring your hands to your hips and really just feel that downward flow where we're not doing the lifting away from earth, but we're really focused more on the rooting down. Just see if that feels at all different. Subtle, but check it out for one more inhale. And exhale, step that back foot forward and just switch out your feet, coming to the second side. Feel that press into both feet, gentle bend in that front leg, pressing through the heel, seeing if you can balance the effort through both legs. Option to reach your arms overhead. Notice that feeling of lifting up. But then bring hands to hips and really feel the energy of pressing down, rooting down, relaxing shoulders down. Grounding, stabilizing, rooting. We'll take another deep breath in here. And long breath out. Step that back foot in. And now with feet together, we're going to play a little bit with balance here. Feel feet together. Notice if there's any swaying. Notice how your body has to work. And then take feet wide. Notice how you're standing. Neither of these are super stable places. This is a little extra work for these joints. That's a little extra work for your balance. So now come into a place, and you might have a habit of standing a certain way, but see if you can find that place and that right distance between your feet where you feel most stable, where your knees are unlocked, where your shoulders can rest back and down, where you can find the most stillness. And as you're here, you can inhale, lift your shoulder blades up, roll them back and down, spin your palms forward, extend your fingertips also towards the earth. Energize your legs. You can press to the outer pinky edge of your feet and then in towards the inner edge of your feet. I'm just pressing down. You can see my legs are actually moving a little bit as I do so. You can press down into the front of your toes and into your heels. Feel that little difference. And then find that most steady place where most of the muscles in your legs are fired up and energized, where your heart's lifted, where your breath's deep, and where your fingers are reaching down. And if you want here, you can close your eyes. Coming into that ultimate pose of stillness, of rooting, of mountain pose. Become the mountain. Become that immovable force, that center of stability, that thing filled with strength, reliability, roots, that thing you can trust on. You are who you can trust in. And just feel that connection to the earth, that all that's in your heart, send that intention down into the earth and know that the whole earth is supporting you back. It's finding those opportunities to help you move where you want to move. That you are safe, you are stable, you are strong and connected in who you are. Take another deep breath in and long breath out. And then we're going to shift into a little bit of water here. So the best thing to do for second chakra, which is all about following your pleasure and following your desires, is actually to put on your favorite music and dance around and sing it out and let yourself express. But we're going to go very classically here. We're going to play with moving every joint. So you can start with your fingers and your wrists, and we're not going to full extension here. We're right in that middle range, and we're not bearing any weight here. We're just in the middle range, and when we move like this in the middle range, we actually build synovial fluid in the joints, which protects the joints. It allows them to move more freely, and it also gives them more padding when there is impact. So exploring movement in your hands, and then we can go to the elbows. So elbows are kind of cool. You might put your hands up and just notice you can rotate those thumbs around. You can also bend the elbows. You can bend the elbows with thumbs out, and you can bend the elbows with thumbs in. And you can kind of do any sort of combination with the elbows. Just notice, all the scarecrow ways that you can move. And you can take the movement and that flow into your shoulders, rolling the shoulders. Shoulders have a lot more movement. They can go up and down. They can kind of squeeze forward and backwards. They can go in circles. They can go together or one at a time. So just notice all the ways shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers want to move together, letting yourself connect with that 70% of you that's water and flowing, and let yourself connect with those places that feel tight or tense. Just like water after flowing over a place for a long time smooths those jagged edges, let these movements gently kind of smooth out any tightness or tension in your body. You can take another breath in here to the shoulders, and then coming to stillness for a moment, see if you can isolate that very top joint where your head connects with your spine. And just find those tiny little movements. This one you can really go all over the place. You can tilt to the side, you can move forward or backwards, but just notice what it's like to isolate that very top joint. So you're not feeling any stretching in your neck muscles just yet. You're just feeling fluidity and following where your head and neck wants to go. And then take it down and start to feel the rest of your neck, how that connects, and follow anything that feels good here. If you want to sit for this, or if you want to hold on to the wall, sometimes moving the neck can throw our balance off a little bit when we're standing. Deep, steady breaths wherever you are, whatever you're doing, always. And you might take the head in all directions. There's side to side, there's down and up, there's tilting side to side. And there's also this forward backwards movement. So notice, where does it feel good? This one you can stretch a little bit and feel that connection between jaw, neck, and shoulders. Any movements you want. And taking another breath in and another breath out. And roll those shoulders out again. Just feel all that upper back. We're going to take this into the rest of the spine. So start to feel how your head is connected to your lower back through that ripple of the spine, and explore all the movements of the spine that might feel good. So we've got this rounding and back bend that the spine's designed to do. We've got side to side stretching that the spine is designed to do. And we have rotation that the spine is designed to do. So allow yourself to just really organically notice, I'm twisting and forward folding. That there's all sorts of combinations you can make. So allow yourself to move freely like water here, allowing your spine to get more fluid, to get out of those habitual sitting or standing patterns, to find what feels good. This is one of the kind of places that you can always come back to or build into your day of just getting some mobility here. Really, really healthy. So take another deep breath in here and long breath out. Root down through your feet and then take your hips into a circle. And you can feel how as we move the hips, how the spine has to follow along with that. Moving the hips, spine needs to make adjustments, feet and ankles need to make adjustments. You could do some crazy hips and play with just moving the pelvis, right? This tends to get really locked in. So what is it like to tuck? What is it like to send back? Oftentimes we either have a tendency for this or a tendency for that. But is there a place of greater balance we can find if we get in here? Just notice. We can also check out side to side. And we can also bring it into one foot, circling that hip, really finding that weightless place to explore the hip. And the second side, circle, circle. Nice deep, steady breaths in and out. And then planting both feet, going to extend the knees. So the knees are kind of the most limited joint in our body. It's got forward and backwards. It can look like it can do a lot of other things, but that is always with the support of the hips and ankles. So for the knees, we'll just give them a good kick out, feeling that moment of straightness. And we can kick them back, feeling that full bend. And take another deep breath in. You might extend your foot, circle the ankle in front of you. You can also kind of put your toes behind you and circle this way if that feels more stable to you. Wiggle those toes and then take it to the other side, either in front or behind, circling that ankle. And then taking a moment to feel, I've freed up every joint in my body. How do you want to move? What is going to feel good? From that connection to your own instincts, to your own pleasure, to the idea of flowing with what is, how does your body want to move? What would feel good? Close your eyes, breathe deep, let yourself explore. Notice what it feels like to explore. Notice what it feels like to go at your own perfect pace. What are you creating in your body? And then how could you create something even better? Trusting those sensations you feel, working with whatever sensations you feel. And take another deep breath in. Long breath out. Hey, baby. All right. We're going to let her stay there. I'm just going to come to my knees, but you can come to a chair here. We're going to come into the core, and this is where we're going to build some heat. So to start, you can sit down or kneel with me. Place your hands on your knees. Breathe in. We'll start with stretching that core area, and breathe out. Slide the hands forward. Pull in through the center. Feel that strength. Feel some heat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. You know, a lot of the things that allow us to connect to our center is about blowing that breath out. It's about emptying. It's about returning to that most central place. You guys feeling some heat here? We'll take one more breath in and one more breath out. And then engaging those core muscles, lift up. And as you exhale, rotate towards the right. Again, hugging in towards the center. Breathe in, fill up through center. And breathe out, squeeze out, hug to the left. And again, doing this in a way where you're really engaging those core muscles and generating some heat in the body. A lot of times we use our arms in twists and we kind of pull ourselves into deeper twists. This, we're just using our own core strength. And you can take another deep breath in and out, coming to center. And now we're going to come right into fire breath. So before we do that, just slow exhale, feel that emptying. And then notice that as you hold the exhale out, there's a natural point that you want to breathe, that you can just allow breath in, and it tends to fill this lower area. So squeezing out, generating that heat, emptying. Noticing how naturally breath comes in when we release that press out. We're going to put this on kind of speed mode. So through your nose, you'll exhale quickly, and you'll use these core muscles to squeeze the breath out. But you'll notice as soon as you release that squeeze out, breath comes in. And this is called fire breath. And when we get going, it will look like this. My shoulders are relaxed. I'm doing that forceful thing. I'm generating constriction and heat and warmth in my center. You never want to feel out of breath, so take a break anytime you need. And if you feel lightheaded or anything comes up, you also want to be careful if you have unregulated high blood pressure to go slow with this. This you can do and really take your time with it, or you can go really fast. You want to do about 30, well, it actually depends. It depends on how fast you're going. But don't do this forever. You do this for a few seconds, come back to a natural breath, and then you can try another set. So we'll just do about 20 here now. Take a nice deep breath in, a long breath out. Notice any shifts or changes. Notice what you can relax. And we're going to come into the heart now. So I'm going to come back to standing. You can join me. Taking the feet wide back to that original place that we started. We're going to come into the heart center. And in order to connect with somebody else, we first need to connect to ourselves. And that's important. If you've ever been, and you've been with people you love, and you've been so engaged with them and listening to them and supporting them, and you've even told them about you and they were supporting you, but you got home and you felt exhausted, oftentimes that's because you weren't connected to you in that moment. So even when they were trying to connect with you or give you that support, it's like you weren't home, you weren't here. So we want to come into first connecting with ourselves, finding that breath, and feeling all the way down. Feel your feet as you connect with you, the heart of you connected with the heart of the earth, the heart of the earth, fully supporting all that's in your heart. And the opposite, I don't know if I mentioned, we want giving and receiving, but the opposite of a connection is the loss of connection. So sometimes we have grief to experience in our heart. Sometimes grief of something that was actually lost, sometimes grief of an idea that we have to let go of. But oftentimes, when we feel that, we're like, connection was so painful, let me shut down, and we round down. So what we want to do is connect with ourselves, notice what's there, and then breathe in, open up, reach those arms, stretch that chest, lift that heart. Exhale, give yourself a hug. So being with the heart is really about knowing when to expand, when to be courageous, when to be vulnerable, when to care with yourself, for yourself. When it's too much time wrapping yourself, hiding yourself, healing yourself, time to open again and then coming back in. So anytime you want, coming into this opening of the heart and caring for the heart and center. Breathing in and breathing out. And we're going to do one more of these. And exhale. And then open up. And this time bring your hands back to your heart. We're going to play with giving and receiving. So deep breath into the center and exhale, left palm presses away. You can pivot on those back toes as you turn and twist. And just think about what you either want to release or give to the world. And then breathe in, palm towards you. What do you want to receive? What are those qualities? Breathe out, right to left. Breathe in, palm towards heart. So getting really intentional. Maybe you want to release some hurts and pains. Draw in some love. Maybe you want to give love and receive love, whatever it is for you. Let it take on some meaning as you move. Opening both those giving and receiving channels in your heart. Sometimes we just get stuck in giver's mode. Sometimes we just get really needy and forget that we have so much to give. So this is an exercise to help open the fullness of our heart and our capacity for connection. We'll balance out, coming back through center, taking another moment here. A deep breath in, a long breath out. And I like ending just with a final heart opener. So sweep your arms high. Exhale, bring your hands back, or interlace your fingers and lift, or bring your hands to your low back. But just final breath into that upper heart. Taking a moment to set an intention. What do you want to be open to? What do you want to bring to this world today? And let it go. And thanks for practicing. Hope you enjoyed. Put any comments in the chat if you want me to know anything about this or how it worked for you. Thanks so much. See you next time.